What Larry Fink just said on the national news confirms the world's biggest banks are coming for your Bitcoin. Citibank will be offering a Bitcoin custody service trading in 2026. Morgan Stanley is allowing all their clients to invest into Bitcoin today. And Bank of America released an interesting survey we will cover in a moment. But before we do that, let's play that clip.
You know, our Bitcoin IBIT is now over $100 billion.
$100 billion, I know, so from nothing not that long ago.
And 2 years ago, zero.
Yeah,
so
I know. Well, you weren't always a huge proponent of crypto, as we know.
Yeah, but
love it now.
But I grow and learn.
I heard you say that on 60 Minutes.
I did say
that.
All right. Well, thank you, Sophie. She's a professional. You know, we're throwing her into the fire, guys.
I think this might be the first time ever that we see a prominent boomer admitting to the fact that maybe they were
wrong. He's wrong.
Like, is breaking. The world shaking? Is there an earthquake? Like, was this a major event?
Well, I mean, he was extremely giddy, and I'm going to get to that. But before I do want to bring up our guest, Francesco, CEO of Bitvault. Guys, we're going to be talking about multi-sig and time locking, how to protect yourself in case of emergencies towards the end of the show. But I do want to start with just the Larry Fink clip. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is you can see how giddy he is here. He is over the moon here. And I think there is signal with just how excited he is. Again, guys, I've been covering this on the show, and I've been pointing it out that you got to remember the Bitcoin ETF, the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF, is the most successful ETF launch in history. And now they have $100 billion of Bitcoin under their control. Obviously, it is because of their clients. But what does this tell you about what Wall Street thinks about Bitcoin? And I think that's where this lies, and that's where this is headed. Is, look, they're looking at Larry Fink. They're seeing him be this profitable. They all want to get into this game. And that is, I think, what we're starting to see. We told you guys it was going to be a slow trickle, and now it's becoming a freaking rapid torrent of capital that's trying to find its way into Bitcoin. So before I go on and give you guys a little more source material, Francesco, what's your thoughts on hearing Larry Fink be this giddy about his Bitcoin ETF? Again, you know, 2 years ago, he was calling it, what was it? A money ledger for criminals and money launderers. And now he's like, I'm a genius. I knew it was going to be this successful. You can hear in his voice. He's excited. It's just like, oh, man, you couldn't have picked for a better spokesman, I guess. Well, actually, we probably could have. But anyways, Francesco, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, welcome everyone, and thanks for hosting me. Well, who could have imagined? But maybe you could have expected after decades of deception from who could actually control the market and wants to control everything, right? So there is no big surprise, unfortunately. But I mean, they have some good, let's say, merit because. The ETF, it brought a lot of interest in Bitcoin, and accessibility is driving the price up. And driving the price up also get other people interested in the loop of Satoshi envisioned. So yeah, not Satoshi wants the banks and Bitcoin, but there is a bit of the issue. So what this bank is doing is trying to extract value from a system which it needs some not trust, but it needs some help. So people need some help on this better instrument, which is asset, which is Bitcoin. And how it's an easy prey for them to say, okay, I take care of it. I will lift all of the risks from you. You can relax, and I hold the Bitcoin. And but the concerning part is that they can use your Bitcoin. They can replicate it and many other things, which by the legal framework they cannot do because ETF is not possible. But yeah, I mean, you are trusting the law. Yeah, according to the law, if you trust the law, you have no problem. But if we are here in Bitcoin, I would say we don't want to trust. We want to verify. We want to actually hold our coins. So the two positions they want to monetize on are the custody, so the risk of custody for you as an individual, because you are like holding a bar of gold in your house, and somebody know that you hold it if you purchase it on the exchange. Of course, the employee who processes your AML, of course, he knows, and like happened that they got bribed, or your ex hates you, and and so you cannot really be safe that nothing. So that's where they step in and say, we're going to protect you. Well, and then this is the first problem. And then the second problem is that what if you lose your keys? So I take your control of your Bitcoin so you cannot lose your keys, because I custody it, which they can very well use too. But yeah, at least you're not guilty. So people want to have an easy life, not to have responsibilities, and so they get paid to relieve your responsibility. What I say is that with our product, Bitvault.sv, and I invite you to check the site because it's a brand new concept, and we solve the problem of them to not for the user, not to trust them as a provider of security for your Bitcoin, because we have a protective vault with protective time delays, which is fully on chain, fully non-custodial. And you don't need to trust them and the custodian to not be attacked, kidnapped, or hacked in your device. Because the combination of time delay over multi-sig in a protective framework, in a protective way, against the trustless convenience service, gives you the possibility to time lock the whole vault and not to be forced to hand over your funds whatsoever. So actually, there is a possibility now on chain to not to rely on them and not to feed them. So you have a better solution without feeding the enemy. And also, maybe focus on this point, but also there's something in the pipeline also for the second problem, which is the loss of the key. But I wonder if you have anything, or if you got our Bitvault, maybe your audience interested, and if it's easy or difficult to understand how Bitvault work, and if you see the value proposition of our company.
Yeah, definitely, Francesco. I totally love what you said, and we're gonna cover the whole Bitvault. We'll have the audience kind of chime in there, but there is an interesting point that you said about custody, because that does lead to the secondary kind of stories that we have here today. The first one is the Morgan Stanley headline, guys. We covered this last week, or yeah, it was last week where this kind of was the breaking news that Morgan Stanley will now allow all of their clients to be able to invest in Bitcoin. So I have a headline here. Morgan Stanley unlocks crypto for all. Retirement accounts open to digital assets. And I'm really just going to read, kind of the beginning of this. And it goes, in a landmark move poised to redefine the landscape of digital asset accessibility, Morgan Stanley, one of the world's leading financial services firms, has announced a significant expansion of its cryptocurrencies offerings effective today. Literally today, October 15th, 2025, all wealth management clients, including those utilizing IRAs and 401ks, will gain access to carefully vetted crypto investment options. It's a huge policy shift, guys. This is a fundamental difference from what we've seen in the past with Bitcoin. And then further, Citibank, they're targeting a 2026 launch for, quote, crypto custody services as Wall Street dives deeper into digital assets. And this is coming from CNBC. And this is going exactly into what Francesco was saying, is that we're seeing right now, as Larry Fink went into Bitcoin, obviously they went out on the limb with the ETF, and now we're starting to see it took them about 10 months for them to all get into Bitcoin. And now they're doing exactly what Francesco was saying. They're all wanting to custody their Bitcoin. They want to give you Bitcoin products that, they're in control of, that basically, makes the retail customer, the traditional investor, more comfortable holding this thing. And like we've been saying, and like I said in the title, guys, what is this saying? Let me full screen. What is this saying to me is they want your Bitcoin, guys. So you cannot give them your Bitcoin. As Sophie's nodding her head, you cannot give them your Bitcoin right now. I know it seems like a safer bet to trust these big institutions to hold your Bitcoin. And I know a lot of people are a bit concerned about holding their own private keys. But as we're going to talk about later in the show, as Francesco was mentioning, there is a lot of new products here that will let you sleep better at night. And you don't have to trust the middleman anymore. You don't have to give them your fees to just hodl your Bitcoin. And as we're seeing Wall Street enter the Bitcoin space, they're literally trying to recreate exactly what they've been doing before. Is, hey, trust us, bro. We will give you these Bitcoin products. And I know, even though we've been covering this, it does kind of lead into the bigger conversation that a lot of people do want to see these authority figures, these institutions that they trust, embrace Bitcoin. And that's going to be the signal for them to get into Bitcoin. So I don't think it's all bad news here. I wouldn't be giving them my Bitcoin. I'm not trusting them to hold and custody my Bitcoin. And I don't think you should either. But I know a lot of people are definitely looking at this and being like, oh, hey, you know, Charles Schwab came out a couple of weeks ago and they're like, yeah, maybe I'll trust Charles Schwab. Maybe I'll trust Morgan Stanley. Maybe I'll trust Citibank to hold my Bitcoin. And we're sitting here like, do not do that. That is the last thing you should be doing here.
Terrible idea.
It's horrible. It's not what you should be doing at all.
But here's the good news. I think that, okay, so here's the good news. The good news about these institutions moving into Bitcoin and wanting to sell this as a product to their investors, clients, what have you, is that this is like a ton of money coming into Bitcoin, supposedly, right? Like they're supposed to be buying a ton of Bitcoin, but what good is all of that number go up action if you don't actually have your Bitcoin in self-custody? Like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of Bitcoin for me. I know for a lot of people, they look at it and they look at the returns and they're like, oh my God, I want to get in, but I don't know how to do any of this technical stuff. Well, learn. You learned how to use the computer, right? You learned how to use the internet back in the 90s. People will eventually learn how to Bitcoin and how to self-custody and and they'll realize that that is literally the most important part. But don't get it twisted. It is important that this institutional money is coming in, especially when the price is going sideways. This sideways action. I don't know how I'm feeling about the sideways action. We're not going to talk about it. I'm in a bad mood because of it, but whatever.
Sophie's like, yo, we need stuff at the house. We just got a new house. We need stuff. What's the price doing?
What the line from that movie Blow and Penelope Cruz says, what are we going to do to leave? That's literally me.
I literally heard
every
her say
single
that.
day.
I literally heard her say that. Anyways, Francesco, adding on top of this, you already hit the nail on the head. As we see Wall Street come into Bitcoin, it is, on the one hand, funny, and on the other hand, interesting that they're all positioning themselves to be like, hey, trust us, bro. We have a long reputation. We will custody your Bitcoin. And you literally built a product to be like, guys, I thought as a Bitcoiner, the whole point was not to trust them. And now they're coming in and just doing the like, hey, trust us, bro. We finally get it. It's like the skateboard meme. They're like, hey, children, we know what's going on around here. So anyways, what's your thoughts on that idea? You did cover a little bit, but going further, this is literally why you built Bitvault.
Yes, I mean, the bad news for them is that if you look at the distribution of the coins, 30 million, 40 million, something like that, is already self-custody in individual, all of the people. So they now have a big problem, because if they, how on earth can they convince people who already self-custody to move their coins into their custodians? It is not going to happen. So they are trying now to position themselves in a way where they natively going to sell you Bitcoin to a funds, etc., without self-custody. So their goal is to natively sell non-self-custody enabled coins, but just never showing the private keys. And this is something where we have an advantage on, for two reasons. One is because 40 million coins are in the end of individuals, so we'll never transfer to them. And the second is that the technology went ahead. What is possible with Bitvault today was not possible before. What will be possible with Bitvault in a few months, like losing the keys and going to the custodians to recover the keys without the custodian to collude each other, which is possible with the miniscript technology. I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Then that changes everything, because the custodians just disappear as a custodian. the custodian, if they get paid to hold the keys, but they cannot collude to steal your funds, they are like a safe in a bank where you can go, get in, get out, but they can never access your full secret, therefore moving your money. So certain solution which is being born today thanks to the mini-script technology, especially Taproot, is going to change inevitably the distinction, the differentiation between custodian and non-custodial. So where custodial is not going to exist anymore, everything will be non-custodial, because the only task, the only possibility of the custodian will be to just hold your keys, but not to move the funds. So the technology which are available today, the advances make them obsolete already. Not only because 40 million coins are at the end of us, but also because the technology has already solved the problem of security, where they want to step in and take your Bitcoin with that excuse. You have Bitvault today. And also, you're going to have very soon the possibility not to lose your keys, thanks to the same technology. Maybe you want to have some question here on the functioning.
Yeah, no, I will pose questions. We're going to break down Bitvault completely at the tail end of the show and the culture. But I do want to hit one more thing, guys, because we do have an update from Bank of America. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, we were talking about the Bank of America. There was this tweet going around that Bank of America did a global survey of wealth managers. And the last time we brought this up, it was 3% of global wealth managers have adopted Bitcoin, and about only 4% of their capital has got into Bitcoin. Well, now got a fresh update, and it's 3% of global fund managers have invested around 8%. So it's still rookie numbers. We still got some rookie numbers here.
That's a 2x.
We didn't get another 2x, but we got one 2x here. All right, it's a double. We got a double here.
These TradFi guys are finally getting it together. They want girlfriends. It's rough out there.
I don't know. I think the TradFi's got girlfriends, but they need to pump these numbers up. So hey, it's baby steps, guys. And I think this is kind of the greater trend that we saw. I've been saying for a minute, 2025 is going to be one of those defining years. Yes, the institutions are finally here. And also, as I was saying yesterday, be careful what we wish for. We, as Bitcoiners, we've been always saying, to save the bull run. The institutions are here. They're finally buying Bitcoin. Well, now they are here and they are buying Bitcoin. But I think the trade-off is we're not seeing a parabolic run anymore, which I don't know if that was worth the trade-off here.
Or maybe that's a turning point. Like we've been saying, maybe this is
pun not intended.
This is potentially not. Come on now, Opti. Jesus Christ. Okay. This might be a different cycle. This might be the cycle that changes everything. This might be the cycle that ends the cycles. And if that's true, I think that that's actually what these institutions are looking for. I think that's what it looks like when this big money comes into Bitcoin, when governments start backing Bitcoin. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I don't like institutions anymore.
I know, I don't like them either, but it means that number go up, and number go up means that
it means number goes up, just not as fast, but it won't drop as fast either.
I love that, honestly. I'm a woman, Opti. I like stability. I need it. It's important for my daily life. And so, stability might be a good thing for Bitcoin. It might be a good thing for adoption. It might be something that, we say in the Wild West of Twitter, like, the golden days are over, but every investment has the end of its golden days. Like the people who got in early,
it's too early for that to end.
Well, the people who got in early, is it though? Like with the way that things, with the way that technology goes so fast, is it really that fast? Is it too early? I think the people who got in early, the people watching the show, we got in, and then we ran the institutions, and that's an excellent
thing. #FrantRan.
#FrantRan. And you know, now is a time for more stability.
Now it's just boring. You know, stability just means boring, Sophie. I didn't sign up for boring.
I don't know about that. I think there's a lot of positivity in stability, like mass adoption and price go up and not down.
I like the not down part. I like the price.
I like the not down part too. Like I'm cool with it not going down 80%. Like
yeah, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Right? Like
I need it to go up 10x though. Come on.
But I don't want these institutions gobbling up all of the Bitcoin, and that's why it is so important for people to keep stacking. You know, this is a game of accumulation. This is a game. Oh my God,
gold is more exciting now. This is. I want a refund. Satoshi, I want a refund. No, I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
This is the first time that gold has ever been exciting. So like, just, you know, since maybe the time that they went to go mine it in California, this is you know, it's having its moment, it's having its cycle, but gold has been very stable for, you know, thousands of years. And that is something that we should want for Bitcoin. We should want Bitcoin to become a mainstream adoption. And with that, it means that these institutions are going to step in. There are going to be people with a lot of money buying Bitcoin. And guess what? If you got in early, if you have been stacking sats, if you have reached one coin, the possibility of you being in that club is very high. So, you know, there's nothing for people who have already been buying Bitcoin to complain about. It's people who haven't bought Bitcoin who might have something to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that last part. I totally agree. All right, very quickly, Francesco, I want to ask you, do you think the cycles are over?
I don't think that it's possible, is intellectually honest, to think about 1-0 situation where
got it. Yeah.
Until yeah. So I tend to say that is different, but not to some extent. I mean, just to some extent, because yes, it's clear to me that as soon as the ETF launched, then there was the money supply metric, which was perfectly in line with Bitcoin price. But it now is not anymore for a couple of months. But then all of the rest of how the market works in steps, it's already easy in line. And the fact that we have gold at an all-time high, it means that the Bitcoin bull run hasn't even started.
Let's go.
Yes, because what happens, this is a study I published in June 2024. If you check my highlights, it was really clear to me that gold is the first responder to the quantitative easing. Because who the investors of gold are the investors in gold are people who know scarcity, who know that something has been the best globally, and also gold is a global asset. So they invest there because they have an old mindset, and they want to secure their wealth and their historic gold because that's what they learned from. So they see the quantitative easing as a risk, so they move into gold. So that's why gold is a fast responder to quantitative easing. That's what starts to happen now. And after gold peaks, which didn't, but then the risk appetite of investors moves towards NASDAQ stocks. So they want bigger returns. They wanted to this liquidity which has been printed before. They want to deploy it in a riskier asset, mostly because gold is already up a lot, and also because there is some more liquidity coming. So as a cascade, it goes into NASDAQ and the stocks. Then after NASDAQ goes up and stock goes up, then is the turn of Bitcoin, which is the one with the most intrinsic leverage of all assets, which is the one with the most volatility still, and there's going to be also for a long time. And the volatility, only the smartest can see it is a feature to beat inflation, to beat the quantity of easing, the quantity of money printed. So there is a natural selection happening here. The smartest go into Bitcoin before the others, before the gold buyers. I think that we are going to closely seeing more milder appreciation, but not perfectly line. There will still be a sort of bubble because that's the asset is intrinsically leveraged, and there is the halving, which is part of the equation in Bitcoin and cannot be overlooked. It's like a delta inside of the asset, which has to be expressed sometime, as soon as the market condition get right, because that's how the asset work and the scarcity plays out somehow. So the bubble, we assume that the bubble is given by the buyers, the retail buyers, but that's part of the answer only. The other part of the answer is that is given by the intrinsic leverage given by the halving. So it will also play a role.
Interesting. I haven't heard that, Francesco. I really like that insight. I think I totally agree with that. Great take. All right, guys. We got a jam-packed show for you guys, but before I do want to remind you, of course, smash the like button, comment on the show, let us know what you think of the new studio. We're live in the new studio, you know, we got a whole new setup, and of course, hit the subscriber button, guys. We're dropping the best content. But before I move on, I do want to give the boys over at Bitcoin Well a shout out, guys. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to do it the right way so that you do not get rug pulled. And the reason we love Bitcoin Well is because they have never lost Bitcoin. They will never lose Bitcoin because they never hold your Bitcoin, guys. This is why we partnered with them, is because when you send your money to them, they send Bitcoin directly to your cold storage. Yes, that means you need a Bitcoin wallet. Yes, it's an extra step for you, but this makes sure that you protect yourself from any kind of shenanigans. And that's what we want to do, is make sure you guys are protected here. Buy your Bitcoin from Bitcoin Well. Go to bitcoinwell.com/simply. Use the promo code simplybtc. And when you sign up, you get 3 chances to win 1 million sats. Who doesn't like free Bitcoin? All right, guys. So, jam-packed show. I have Ray Dalio, just did a Lex Friedman podcast, and he literally said Bitcoin changed his worldview on how things work because of Bitcoin's success. Look, I'm not out here saying, yeah, I love Ray Dalio. All I'm saying is, it looks like the boomers out there are starting to figure it out a little bit. It may have took them a while, but they're getting it.
So many ruined Thanksgivings to get to this point.
They're finally here.
This time we can finally have some peace.
Doubt
at
it.
The dinner table.
Highly doubtful. You think I give peace at my dinner table when I start ranting?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
not.
no, my family hates me when I do that. Anyways, and then interesting article coming out of Reuters from the IMF. Warning about central bank losing trust, inflation concerns. Guys, it's a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm right now for Bitcoin. It is all happening exactly as predicted, guys. It's all happening exactly as predicted. And then, of course, it is totally happening exactly. I predicted all of this.
Nostradamus.
Yeah,
for Bitcoin.
Optidamus. And then, of course, to wrap up the show in the culture, we're going to be talking about Bitvault. Why you might want a multi-sig, time delay, what it's helping you do, what it's protecting you from. So jam-packed show for you guys today. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Stampseed. Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Are your seed phrases really secure? Stampseed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you'll need for you to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates. Instead of just writing them down on paper, paper is fragile. Titanium plates are strong. Your words are actually stamped into the titanium plate with this hammer and these letter stamping tools. Once the words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamp seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. And now you can customize your titanium seed plates. You can upload your design or logo, and they will laser engrave it on the back of your seed plate, the opposite side of where the words are. Stamp your seed on Stampseed and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the Stampseed.com store.
All right, guys, we are back, and the current Bitcoin price, guys, it's over. It's officially over. It's officially over, like, guys. It's done. Nah, I'm trolling. I really am trolling. But the current Bitcoin price is 110,480. I swear, we go up, we go down, we get wrecked, and then it climbs a little bit, and then we get more wrecked. And
why are you complaining about me wanting stability?
Because I want volatility,
well,
Sophie.
Here you go. Then enjoy the ride, bro. Enjoy the ride.
No, I don't want.
This is what you get.
No, I don't want chop solidation. Wait, wrong one. I want pump. I'm sick of this chop solidation. We need some pump action. This is not fun anymore.
Yeah, I don't like
this. Is not fun anymore. Okay. The decline from all-time high, guys. The reason I'm joking is we're down negative 12% right now. We did just hit all-time high. It's really not that bad. I know. So it's really not that bad.
It's bad. 12% for the boomers is really bad.
We're not boomers though. We're not boomers.
No,
though.
I know. We're used to this, but it still hurts.
It does hurt. I was promised pump in October, but actually, maybe I'll throw in a little hopium here for you guys later. And maybe I might have to hold off for no. Maybe you know what I was gonna pivot. No, I'll do that in the news. Market cap 2.2 trillion, and the current block height, the only time that matters, 919,221. So I was gonna pivot on you guys, but let me play you this Ray Dalio clip. He was just on Lex Friedman. I'm not the biggest fan of Lex Friedman, full disclosure here, but he did just have Ray Dalio on, and Ray Dalio has been coming around. He's been talking about dollar debt spirals, the concern about countries' national debts, and he has been extremely bearish on the dollar. Now, a lot of people have been saying that it's probably because he does have a lot of investments in China. He does look outside of the U.S. for investments. I would argue it's kind of his job to understand these big debt cycles right now. And this is why he's starting to figure out Bitcoin. But in this short clip, he does say some interesting things that we always say. You don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. And he, in a Ray Dalio boomer way, said that exact same thing. So let's watch the clip and we'll be right back.
Well, the evolution of Bitcoin over the years is one of the things that has influenced changes in my view. It has proven itself something like 10, 11 years ago. Imagine the programming of this, and you throw it out, and that's the idea. It has not been hacked. It has operated. It is built. It has come an amazing way over that 11 years to be probably the most excited topic among a lot of people, and has been used and is now has obtained the status of having imputed value. At the same time, it is one of those assets that is an alternative money. I think we're entering an era where there's going to be a competition of monies. Because of the printing of fiat money and the depreciated value, there will be a competition of monies, and Bitcoin is part of that competition. But the money has two purposes: a medium of exchange and a storehold of wealth. And we are looking for, and it's portable, and it's best if it's recognized in other countries. So gold is one of those. So I look at it as an alternative gold, but I look at a number of things as alternative gold. And gold is still my favorite because of certain qualities. For example, you can't trace it. In Bitcoin, you can trace who owns it, where it's going, and so on. Governments can have that ability to trace it and so on. A gold piece of coin, it's not connected. I think not connected has benefits, particularly in a world where maybe connections can be more risky.
Well, my first thought is just boomers love shiny rocks. They absolutely love shiny rocks, and it's like hardwired into their mentality to love the shiny rock. But
Caveman.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a caveman too. I'm a my cousin called me a Neanderthal, but I understand Bitcoin, so I guess an old dog can learn a new trick, I suppose. But without the point that he was saying about competition in fiat currencies, guys, that's literally where we are right now. And I didn't bring it up on today's show, but I don't know if you guys heard Donald Trump yesterday, but he literally said the BRICS nation was an attack on the dollar, or the BRICS system was an attack on the US dollar. So if you think Bitcoiners are just reading into all of this stuff, I would just argue that, guys, you just read kind of between the lines. It's literally out there. They're telling you exactly what Bitcoiners have been saying for a long time. We're getting to a place where there is a debt spiral going on, or maybe we're not fully in a debt spiral, but there is a debt problem in many countries around the world, and people are looking for alternatives. And as we're seeing with gold, it's hitting all-time high because, like Francesco was telling us earlier, people first move into gold and then it starts rotating into other things, and eventually it will end up in Bitcoin. And I think the fact that we're seeing some of the biggest investors in the world, whether you like them or not, but the fact that they are starting to see the light, maybe, it is a little late. I would argue that, like, if we understood it, they could have probably understood it a little earlier. But hey, they're also out there marketing Bitcoin. So first, I'm going to go to Francesco. What's your thoughts on Ray Dalio? Do you like his thesis about the debt spiral? What do you think about the debt spiral thesis? And then, of course, he's starting to embrace Bitcoin. But do you see the competition between fiat currencies happening, or are Bitcoiners kind of blowing it out of proportion?
Actually, I don't know what brought us all here, which we can confidently say and call that guy by the name, like a laggard. I mean, because 3-4 years ago, he was starting to look into Bitcoin, talking about Ray Dalio. I mean, I hope it's not an insult, but it's a funny way to name the academics, because I want to look up to this point. He was slightly trying to get Bitcoin 5-6 years ago, I think, and then he didn't make it. He's doing baby steps now to move towards the Austrian economics. So he's starting to reject the fiat system, where yes, he was more into gold, as he said, but still was part of the system. He had the fund, and when you understand that aside of that system, the base of where the value is going to go towards is ultimately, inevitably, Bitcoin. Then you start to question yourself, your challenge, your career, and you have to make changes. But if you make changes too quickly, then you have problems with your academic positions.
Yeah.
But yes, so I don't think he actually got it quickly, but he's trying to. But this is the mistake we make is that thinking that they are better than us because they studied, but they studied a wrong subject. So they studied, yes, they studied a wrong subject, and that was harmful to them. So as a paradox, I didn't do any economic study, I don't know you guys, but it's much easier for the truth, which is the Austrian economy and Bitcoin representation of the Austrian economy, to get into your brain. And in comparison to somebody who spent a lot of money and time and built his whole personality around the Keynesians in economics. So the real shift of the academics is going to be from Keynesian economics and into the Austrian economics. The best representation of it, which is Bitcoin, is not easy. I mean, it will take more time, and this is how it should be. I don't think there are so many surprises here, but changing is difficult for anyone. The competition on money to go to that point is something which I don't see, because at the end of the day, money, fiat money, we can really sum it up into the dollar. There is no reason. I mean, we have seen in COVID crisis all the other fiat currency crashed against the dollar. The dollar was the last currency standing. So there are three things in the world, basically, the US dollar, gold, and Bitcoin. And you bet which one is the best. I won't say that the other mistake he makes, which I think he genuinely made, I don't know how old is this video, but generally maybe it's now, is that they confuses about the fact that Bitcoin be traced. Well, it can be traced if you just buy with document. If you don't buy with document, okay, we'll see how can trace. But he fails to understand that gold is not easy to move. Bitcoin can be moved at the speed of light. So which one is better in the information age? Come on. And this is a genuine mistake. So we should, I mean, normal people just not listen to them. They just go to, unfortunately now the information is in the internet. You just go to the Vijay Boyapati blog and read this article. You get Bitcoin. You don't need him to explain to you who didn't even understand. I mean, I'm not, I don't want to be nasty or say that everybody has his own path and time and to get into things, but the academics are definitely not the people to listen to, because their persona and career is built around the opposite. So why would you listen to that?
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true. When I was just taking a basic economics 101 class, the amount of lies they tell, it's not even lies. It's just like they paint this picture that like fiat, it will never fail. Nothing will ever happen to it. And that's, I think, why Ray Dalio is making the comments that he's making. It's like, great, your currency is going to go up and it's going to have power as long as, you know, you respect it and you don't overprint it, you don't abuse the system. But what's happened is an abuse of the system. And you know, that's why there is this competition. But in these academic scenarios, you're absolutely right. They will never tell you that, because there's just no scenario where that would ever happen, period. They lack imagination.
Well, their job depends on you not understanding Bitcoin. I think it's probably the biggest signal here. Anyways, guys, one quick commercial break and we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about the IMF. I think I think they are starting to say the quiet part out loud here, guys. And it's something Bitcoiners have been saying forever. So quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, Ledin, the leader in Bitcoin-backed loans. Unlock the liquidity in your Bitcoin without having to sell your Bitcoin. They've issued $9 billion in loans to over 10,000 customers since 2018. I absolutely love these guys. Not only do I have an account with them, but I also have a loan. And what I love about them is that there are no monthly payments, and you could pay back the loan at any time. As soon as you send your Bitcoin as collateral, you'll have cash in your account within 24 hours. Over 1,000 five-star customer reviews, and they've never lost a single dollar or sat of customer money. Go to learn.ledin.io/simply today, and you'll get 0.25% off your first loan. I want to give a shout out to our partner, sat123.com. Sovereignty isn't just about your money. It's about your communications too. When the grid goes down, most people go dark. Cell towers fail in hurricanes, cyber attacks, and blackouts. But satellite phones, they don't rely on local infrastructure. Iridium has 77 satellites in orbit, giving you a direct line anywhere in the US, even offshore. If you hold your own Bitcoin keys, you should hold your own comms too. Sat123.com also has everything you need to start building your Bitcoin citadel. Starlink, battery backups, Faraday bags to protect your hardware wallets, and much, much more. It's a one-stop shop for anyone serious about resilience and off-grid independence. Stay connected, stay independent, stay sovereign. Go to sat123.com/simply today and use promo code SIMPLY to get 15% off anything on the store. I want to give a shout out to our partner, BitKey. If you already self-custody your Bitcoin, you know the deal with hardware wallets by now. Complex setups, clumsy interfaces, and a seed phrase that can be lost, stolen, or forgotten. BitKey fixes that. BitKey is a multi-sig hardware wallet built by the team behind Square and Cash App. It packs a cryptographic recovery system and built-in inheritance feature into an intuitive, easy-to-use wallet with no seed phrase to sweat over. It's simple, secure, self-custody without the stress. Time named BitKey one of the best inventions of 2024. Get 20% off at bitkey.world. That's BITKEY.world with the code SIMPLY.
Here we got Sophie modeling the BitKey, guys. It is literally the easiest Bitcoin. This is a family-friendly Bitcoin wallet, guys.
It's super cool. Even my grandma can use it, and she's been getting into Bitcoin lately, and
She's stacking. Dude, your grandma's stacking sats. Why aren't you stacking sats?
And she feels like a badass using this thing. So, you know, maybe gift one to your grandma this Christmas, or like
I'm buying them all for my family. I'm buying everyone a BitKey from that. Literally, sorry, fam, you're only getting BitKeys for Christmas this year. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, I have this news. I'm gonna fly through this because I'm gonna try to jam something in. You guys have been asking about October, so I'm gonna just kind of fly through this news article. But I think there is a lot of information here. So I'm over on Reuters here, guys. You're gonna have to trust me on this. I like how this looks better than doing the screen share. So you're going to have to trust me. I'm reading off Reuters. Okay, guys. So Reuters just posted this article and it goes, the erosion of trust in central banks can boost inflation expectations. IMF warns. You heard that right. The erosion of trust in central banks can boost inflation expectations, the IMF warns. So the International Monetary Fund on Tuesday say putting pressures on central banks to lower interest rates, quote, always backfires, warning that erosion of trust in monetary authorities could de-anchor inflation expectations. The IMF chief economist said the global lender was observing increasing pressures on central banks to lower interest rates, but did not name any specific countries. Yeah, I wonder who the IMF is talking about. Anyways, he goes, the loss of trust in central banks could have negative consequences for efforts to keep inflation expectations in check, a lesson learned in the past by advanced and emerging economies. Quote, trust in central banks helps anchor inflation expectations, and this credibility needs to be protected. As trust erodes, inflation and inflation expectations always rise. Macroeconomic stability deteriorates and everyone loses out, he told reporters at the annual meetings of the IMF and the World Bank in Washington. Guys, literally what I've been telling you guys forever. First of all, once you understand what fiat means, you know, literally money by decree or government words being money. Now you start to see what I keep trying to tell you guys, that literally once the trust in the institution does erode, literally what they said in this headline, or the IMF said, it's like once people stop trusting these institutions, all hell is going to break loose. And it's funny that they're literally like, hey, you know, if you can't trust the central banks anymore to control inflation, then yeah, inflation expectations are probably going to go a lot higher. Like, so they're admitting that your money is just government words and you have to trust their words. And this is kind of what keeps the carousel going. And, you know, that's what keeps everyone on the ride here. And as Bitcoiners, we're just like, why do I have to trust you at all? I don't have to trust you. What do you mean I have to trust you? Literally, if words, or rather, you know, people doubting inflation is going to be what they expected, is going to cause inflation to go up. Like, first of all, it really goes into what Sophie was just saying a minute ago, that, you know, the lies that the economists tell you, it really makes no sense once you break it down. As we say as Bitcoiners, you know, inflation is caused by the expansion of the money supply. What the IMF just say, hey, bro, trust us or inflation is going higher.
But Opti, if people stop trusting the fire department, who will put out the fires?
My roads. Who's gonna build my roads? Okay.
No, this is what happens. The fire actually spreads. And then we all get burned. That's what happens if we end up trusting the IMF. And it's such gaslighting. They caused this problem. They caused the problem. They caused the fire. And then they point at everybody getting their houses burned and saying, hey, you better trust us or else. It's crazy. This is like, I can't even believe that people still trust in fiat. I cannot believe that there are not people rioting on the street. Not saying that you should do that. You should never riot on the street. But
Peaceful.
But this is such an abuse of power. People, you know, they don't even question money. They don't even question the creation of it because they believe that they're creating it with their hard work. And in reality, they're just creating it in in thin air with a push of a button. And now they're saying, look, you got to keep trusting us. You got to keep letting us print this money, or else it's going to get out of control and you're going to realize what we're doing. And if you realize what we're doing, we're not going to know how to control anything.
It's so good. Hey, yo, trust us, bro. We got this under control. And if you don't trust us, all hell's going to break loose.
Yeah, we're going to start. It's kind of a veiled threat. Like they
Sophie got that fire, though. Sophie got that fire.
This feels like they're going to start putting people in a box if they don't
maintain
control. Metaphorical, in a metaphorical box. In metaphorical chains, if you catch my drift, if you don't listen to what they say. And the funny thing is, like, most people aren't even aware that these are the people in power. They're not even aware that these are the people in charge of our money. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people are asleep at the wheel. I think we can all.
Well, because they have so much to deal with, right?
Well, I would say they're just that complacent. They're just like, life's good. Hey, I got Netflix, Sophie. I got Netflix. I have, you know, ice cream on demand. I got DoorDash. What else do I need in my life?
Yes, we have a lot of conveniences in life, but I actually kind of disagree. I think people are bombarded right now by inflation, by trying to juggle multiple jobs, by trying to keep their kids safe from, you know, school environments and people and the things they watch on social media. I think people, while we have a very convenient society, are very, very distracted, and it's all on purpose. And if we don't wake up, you know, if we don't start to prioritize what is actually important and where our money comes from, where our values come from as a society, we're going to continue to let these pirates dictate our life. And that is scary. I'm a mom now. That is terrifying to me.
Motherly wisdom here. Let me
I have bags under my eyes now.
Yeah, let me
that's where all the wisdom comes from.
All right. Francesco, I'm gonna sneak one more thing in here, and then I'm gonna give you the floor. So guys, I promise you, I really wasn't gonna cover this today, but I see everyone in the chat basically saying like what happened to October. So I'm gonna drop a little nugget here. And then we're gonna keep it moving. So I saw this, guys. I was gonna actually cover this on the show, but I think it's fitting to cover here. So this guy Timothy Peterson, he did some he calls himself network economist, love it, author of Metcalfe's Law as a model for Bitcoin, and he tweeted, this was in September 30th when he tweeted, and he goes, Bitcoin in October, most upside occurs after the 15th. And then he did this chart here. So Bitcoin in October since 2015, you know, it does. I mean, we got a dump. We got a dump. We can't ignore it. We got a dump, you know, a couple days ago. But as you can see, most of the upside comes after October 15th, which is why I wanted to sneak it in. Today is October 15th, guys. So I still think October is on track. We're still on track for an October. So let's see if this is true, guys. You know, hey, a little bit of speculation, a little bit of chart boying here, but end of October should still be in play, guys. Don't listen to my boy Son of Sats in the chat. He's a bear. We don't like bears. Boo him in the chat. October still in play. Anyways, Francesco, you can cover whichever story you want to, whatever you want to cover on this one, and then we'll start talking about Bitvault.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, I think short term is impossible to forecast, but if you have the macro picture in your mind with the real value and what's really happening in the markets, and starting from the money printing to where the real value is headed, then you eventually have the answer. You have the possibility to mentally hold and just beat the market, because Warren Buffett was wrong about everything, but not on one thing. One thing was exactly right. Time in the market beats time in the market, and you have eyes on the sleeve there. Just have to wait, because the Keynesian system cannot survive if they don't print money. So you just wait, and you have the halving to protect you if you have Bitcoin in terms of volatility. So the volatility is what makes volatility and time are the two factors which makes you beat the market. And this is knowledge. So knowledge is the third pillar, and this is everything. But if I wanted to go on the point about the International Monetary Fund, just stating for the first time since I've been into Bitcoin, that if they basically say that to the various government worldwide, that if they print more money, they will cause more inflation. But the first time I hear that, they never said publicly. And there are some reasons. I think because it's increasingly evident to the people which the living conditions are going low, and the rise of Bitcoin is also playing a part, but we are reaching a point where they cannot lie anymore to 100%. They have to lie a bit less. And this is because they will try to create the new normal of the inflation, which is above 2%. They will try to set it around 3.54, maybe 3. And they have to justify that. And so they create narratives. And narratives distort the reality, which and can be used politically. Because how many wars have started with fake murder, or maybe all of it? And the same thing applies to this economic war, because at the end of the day, if you buy Bitcoin, you sell the dollar. So you want, and the International Monetary Fund relies on the dollar, and you have a political situation like where it's right now, that they want to pump the market, but then there is the factor of confidence, and these people, they also have a fallback. And in politics, they always come up with finalistic takes, which they can bombard people on, and eventually people start believing. The most famous is the Bretton Woods Agreement. Like speculators are forcing us to remove the convertibility to gold, and another lie will arise when things hit the fan. Another lie will arise, and that's why you have to have custody, because don't rely on the situation right now with the current administration, because there will be another election, and who knows? And there are external worldwide pressure, where the deep state, the elite people who really want to play this game and play it right, they might not agree with what is happening today. And this is also a factor. This is a political. So the legal framework is not enough to put your life savings on. An ETF equals a legal framework. You're just trusting the same person who lied for 45 years to you, and then I don't know, more than that. And then now they're just shelling out the truth slowly, like a pill, to unconsciously make it permeate you, and just start believing what they're saying more. Because even the dumbest people on earth, there is a limit of BS you can take, and unfortunately, the logistic who caused the inflation and COVID, maybe they don't have another lie anymore. So they tell half truth, and they build more life on top of that, and that eventually they can divide the citizens and conquer, like the old Romans say, divide and conquer. And the same thing is happening over and over. We have a real advantage in self-custody Bitcoin. You cannot depend on their political decision, on their take, on their games. You just are sovereign, and you really, not only financially, you can, of course, outperform the market, but also you can retain the value for the rest of your life and for your generations.
100%, 100%. All right, guys, last ad break, and then we're going to be talking about interesting ways to secure your Bitcoin for the long term, exactly what Francesco was just talking about. So quick ad break, and we will wrap up today's show.
I want to give a shout out to our partner, HIVE Digital Technology. Why HIVE in 2025? Unstoppable growth. As the first ever public miner, HIVE's position to quadruple their global footprint, making them one of the world's fastest growing miners in 2025. And with elite operations that consistently top the industry in Bitcoin mined per exahash, HIVE's now headquartered in the USA. They're lean and mean, they're green and clean, and they're rewriting the playbook on sustainable Bitcoin mining. You can catch the latest buzz at HIVE Digital Tech or at hivedigitaltech.com. I want to give a shout out to our partner, bitcoinben.io. If you're into freedom, Bitcoin, and building a real community, this is for you. Gain exclusive access to real-world, members-only, private clubs across the globe, featuring poker nights, expert-led classes, co-working spaces, educational meetups, live events, and more. Current locations include Sarasota, Nashville, Boston, Dallas, Las Vegas, and St. Louis, with new clubs launching soon in West Palm Beach, Scottsdale, Alabama, and beyond. Not to mention Bitcoin Ben's resorts in El Salvador. There's 3 of them, and they're absolutely beautiful. You'll also get access to the first fully backed Bitcoin bank with fiat ramps and savings accounts. It's called Private Key Bank, and you guessed it, it's based out of El Salvador. Go peer-to-peer with Bitcoin bulk buys, tap into home equity for long-term Bitcoin growth, and join their exclusive mining pools if you're interested in mining. What are you waiting for? Head over to bitcoinben.io, join today, where Bitcoin meets freedom.
All right, guys, we are back with Francesco, CEO of Bitvault. So, Francesco, for everyone out there that isn't familiar with Bitvault, what is this and what are you working on? And then we're going to talk about the problems that you're solving.
Yes. So first of all, maybe look here beside below my name. The site is Bitvault.sv. We want to look at it to better understand, maybe also later on, and trying to explain now. So essentially, the problem which is facing all of us is that you can protect yourself against physical attacks for like having a decoy wallet. Okay, but the decoy wallet doesn't work if the attacker knows that you bought 3-5 Bitcoin on Kraken and the employee got private or other exchanges. And this is a problem because you cannot ever be certain that you can hand over the 0.01 and with the decoy wallet to him, he will believe you. This is not going to happen. So there is an unsolved problem, which is that one. There is a problem kidnappings, which is also really dangerous. And then the other one is the problem of the hacks. So to solve this problem, you need a system, a secure system, which is on top of the private keys. If you look at our site, we say beyond keys, protect humans. And if you also think about how other banks or security institutions are, say, custodying gold or other valuable assets, they all have this standard, security standard, to have a time at the vault. You want to have an external security system according to the Kirchhoff principle, where the only security possible should be visible, known to the attacker. So this is all the principle, but it wasn't possible to be implemented on Bitcoin before because there were some technical difficulties we solved at Bitvault. But now it is possible also in Bitcoin to have a timed vault, exactly like a bank holds the coins, the security, and in a timed vault, but with the multi-sig. So at Bitvault, we combine the time at the vault and the multi-sig to protect the users against physical attacks and hacks, where it's a non-custodial product. People hold their own keys. And this is possible because we utilize a Miniscript-based solution. A Miniscript is a perfectly functional working technology. It's nothing, just maybe not known too much, but it is part of Bitcoin code and that deliver great results. And you can set conditions, and essentially the Bitvault technology works by having a convenience service, which is trustless and open source, whose only task is to avoid that the user and the key by the convenience service, which can be self-hosted also by the user, go to move the coins before the time delay has passed. So you can rely on a trustless service, piece of software, which is going to avoid that the transaction gets broadcasted before the time delay has passed. But now you can think, okay, but this is a software service, so it can be faulty, right? No, it's not a software service. This is called a CSV opcode. It's a Bitcoin native opcode. And the only problem was how to pair it and make it functional. On the software level, we made it with the trustless convenience service. But I mean, there is no way, it means that it's enforced at the level of the nodes. So there is no way to bypass it. You are using a pure native Bitcoin technology in a smart way to protect your Bitcoin and yourself, more important yourself, against any kind of physical attack and hacks. Because at that point, let's imagine yourself in a situation where you are under duress. Somebody wants to ask you for your 10 Bitcoin you purchased many years ago on that exchange, with information were leaked from. Then you hand over your 0.1 decoy wallet. It doesn't believe you. But if it doesn't believe you, you have to show the real vault. That's the non-obscure information according to the Kershaw's principle. So you show your vault with the Bitcoin because of your life at stake, right? And then you can see the very big countdown, 15 days, 1 day, 2 hours, you set it. And it's customizable, the time delay. And the time delay, you can order you to start the transaction. You load the transaction, but don't broadcast. As soon as the transaction gets loaded, there is the time delay, the clock starts ticking. So you can just look at the clock. And by being this a system which is above the private keys and non-obscure, is the iPhone is telling him the other that is open source. You can watch it yourself. He doesn't have to believe you. The technology is speaking. So at that point, he will take the decoy wallet and go away. Not because he believes. It's because the non-obscure information is speaking for you, saving your life. And this is how it protects you, how Bitvault protects you against physical attacks. But it also protects against hacks and the mistakes you can make by just having this wall of time always ready against hackers, which hackers try 24/7 because they have nothing to lose. That physical attacker risks is going to jail, but the hackers mostly not. So we'll try 24/7. But you will always hit against a wall of time enforced at the level of the nodes, which is CSV. So you can understand how useful is this solution. And if we talk also about kidnappings, there is a serial notification, which as soon as the transaction gets loaded and the countdown starts 15 days, only after that the transaction will be broadcasted, only after time delay. Then a secret notification, which is a software solution but still useful, can go reach your Telegram and alert a trusted third party that something is happening, maybe your wife, and they will look for you. So we have set 15 days because we don't think you can go missing for more than 15 days and nobody noticing, like family. So we engineer a solution which is fully on chain to protect and also has a nice possibility to have protection against kidnappings, because the only ways that somebody needs to know. But the physical attacks and access protection is really huge. Now we are running we sold out all of our lifetime pre-sale subscriptions. So thank you guys. It was a great feedback from the community. Now we started the founders tires, where you have just under $19. You have a 1 year of subscription with 50 off. So this is valid until the end of December. So I invite you maybe to consider, because the wallet will be launched in a couple of months. It's already in test flight. If you want to test it, you can test it. There is a button below on the landing page. And this is how the manuscript technology and Bitvault done in this way will really sort the effect to protect the user. I don't know if you I was clear on how it.
Wow. I mean, this is an incredible product. I think that this would be incredibly useful where I'm from in Venezuela, where people get kidnapped and they call it Kidnap Express, right? So the way it happens is they pick you up, they call your family, they ask for a ransom, and it's a very quick turnaround, right? It's like they're depending on volume because not a lot of people in Venezuela have money. And so I love this solution because you're making it economically unfeasible for people to do harm to others and to steal their Bitcoin. And at its core, that is one of Bitcoin's fundamental principles, right? It's actually a lot easier to buy it or to mine it than it is to hack someone or steal it. And so this is a product that I think, every Bitcoiner should have, especially high net worth Bitcoiners. Would you say, have you gotten a lot of stories from people saying how this product saved their life? Because I can definitely imagine that.
We are not live yet, but we studied all the scenarios possible, and if any kind of physical attack happened, would have had Bitvault, then nothing would happen. The decoy wallet should have worked and gone away, because it's not under your control. That's enough. And also think about when, because we're also a B2B solution, we sell also to other wallets provider who can integrate Bitvault and white label and let people use it quickly. And I invite, if you're a wallet provider and CEO, just reach out to me and we'll figure it out, because people need this technology. This is not a game. We want to serve a Bitcoin community and do it quick, because the number of physical attacks tracks the Bitcoin appreciation, and they are increasing because the incentive is more and more lucrative for people to try to physical attack you, and this is not possible.
Wasn't there that guy in New York that recently was kidnapped inside of an apartment for I don't know how many days, and they took away all of his Bitcoin? Like that, he would have needed this product so badly.
Yes, not only him, but everyone. I mean, if all of the Bitcoin world, all of the wallet provider and all of the attackers after 1 year, 2 year Bitvault spreads knows that there's nothing I can do, because there is a time lock vault, and every wallet uses this. There is no incentive for them to try to attempt the heist when they only end up going to jail for nothing. So that's why nobody robs the bank anymore. After they invented this solution, there was a drop of 9%. This is called a time locked vaults in the bank. This is already happened in traditional finance, and something cool, because it adheres to the cultural principle explained before. And the same thing is possible now in Bitcoin. Just do it. I mean, don't expose yourself unnecessarily to the risk of being doxed and KYC and just people showing it way, because unfortunately, if you hand over the document, people know where you live it. It's something we can avoid.
Especially nowadays where everybody posts what they're doing, and, you know, being on social media is such a normal, regular part of life, it's really not hard to triangulate where people live, where they'll be, what they're doing with their family. Like, this is something that I think has been a long time coming for Bitcoin. And the fact that you can integrate it with other wallets because you know, maybe you're super used to the one that you have, or you already spent all of this time showing your friends how to use it, which, you know, the technological learning curve can be very
Let's
steep
just
for
be honest.
people.
Bitcoiners don't like to change their wallets after a
Yeah,
while.
exactly. So it's really great that you could just integrate this. And when are you guys going live with this?
The wallet is ready. Just a small bug fixing, just quality assurance review. I think in the next 30, 45 days, we can hit the Apple Store. It's already in test flight. Or if you want to test it, just click there. Just test the wallet, the landing page. You can test it.
Well, we're gonna post the landing page in the description below, and I mean, maybe we can
Yeah.
pull it up
I have
here.
one question. Because I've had this conversation with friends over time delay. Usually it's in the context of like storing some Bitcoin away for, you know, inheritance from my children, etc. And then never were we really talking about it for like protection from people trying to rob it. Usually it's like, oh, I'm going to time lock it so that my kids can have it and I can never sell it. And then usually the conversation stopped for me personally, where it's like, I don't want to mess this up. Like, this sounds way too complicated. I'm guessing you guys have put away all of the complexities so that people can't hurt themselves.
Exactly. We don't want people to make mistakes. The concept of time locking coins for protection is new in Bitcoin. That doesn't exist. We brought it. And the reason why is just to be found in how people think that they hold their keys, they are sovereign, so they are mightier and stronger than smarter, maybe, the attacker, because, and also, yes, that's a mistake, basically. And you need a protection system which is above, beyond the private key, and you want to have it. That's a flaw is in the people using Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it's not because they're bad, but because they like so much self-sovereignty that sometimes they understand that people are nasty out there and can harm you. So do that, but also hackers is even a bigger threat, because that's 24/7. I mean, if you expose a bug on a website, you'll be certain that will be attacked and exploited in no time. That's because there are scripts, and the same thing. There are not scripts a bit, or maybe there are, but the same thing happen. Hacking is fast. Hacking is, you know, private keys cannot be hacked, but the device where you using your wallet you can cross-site scripting, you can have a kind of attacks a lot, and you are the weak link. You and your device are the weak link. You need a protection above that, beyond that, which whatever it happens in either you as a person on your device, you are protected. The coins cannot move. At the end of the day, we are in a store of value phase of Bitcoin. If you need to buy a villa and you had the mad idea to sell your Bitcoin to buy a villa, for the simple fact that you have to write the paperwork, you have to wait for a week, 10 days. It's just not immediate. So, I mean, and the minimum time delay is 2 hours. You can set this a slider in the user interface, and you can just set it once you create the wallet. Once you create it, then it's gonna be like that forever, even for yourself. Otherwise, it doesn't work, the system. And this is our delay. And it's really tied to I don't think that's only for high net worth individual. It's because I measure the level of Bitcoin which deserves this grade of protection according to the amount of time you spend to work to recover the loss. So in my opinion, if it's maybe more than 6 months, I think it's my work of the people using it can be considered a big loss, because it sucks to work for 6 months for something you have lost because you didn't use the best protection. That's.
And if everybody ends up, you know, being on this, if this becomes the norm, if this becomes something that everybody uses, eventually, like, it just won't happen to anybody. Like, nobody will get robbed on the street or targeted for their Bitcoin. It's just not worth it for these people, these
Yeah, I don't have any Bitcoin, guys.
All right.
We
don't own any Bitcoin. We just talk about it. But Francesco, all right, sorry, Seb, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no. That was my whole point, is that, by normalizing this type of product in the market, I think that, it greatly, like, the benefit is to society at large.
Yeah, safety for everyone. Francesco, I was going to wrap up, but I think we got a good question in the chat that I want to give you. Obviously, I might be a little rough on him, but we have Daniel Sauerbrey 750. Why do you need this? Why not just leave your Bitcoin on Coinbase?
Should I quit the conversation? Yeah, why not? I mean, let's catch up in 10 years. We see. We find out.
I love it, Francesca. All right, guys. So, hey, if you're interested in this, of course, go to Bitvault, Bitvault.sv. Go check it out. And you said it's going to launch pretty soon. So maybe if people want to check it out now, you said it's on the test flight app right now on the Apple Store?
Yeah. There's a test flight. It's under invitation, so shoot your email on the site. And also, if you like the concept and $119 are not so much of a bet for you, you can consider having this 50% discount valid until December 31 and purchase the first year now. After that, it's going to cost $19 per month.
Love it, man. Well, Francesco, thank you so much for coming on today. A lot of good insights in regards to gold and banking earlier. And then, of course, building a product to protect us, guys. You got to love this type of Bitcoin entrepreneur. Anyways, Francesco, hang out behind the scenes for 20, 30 seconds while I wrap this up. And we will wrap up today's show. All right, guys, we did it. Another show. Third show in the studio. So third show in the studio. We're here. All right, guys.
We're slaying.
On that note, we will be back tomorrow. Actually, look, I'm gonna be honest here. I am feeling a little sick, so hopefully I don't come down with the sickness. I do have some contingency plans here if I do get absolutely sick.
Contingency plan being me.
Yeah, but guys, I don't know. I don't know. I woke up this morning and I'm not feeling the best. So I'm glad I made it through today's show. Hopefully I don't wake up worse tomorrow, but we will be back. Rain or shine, there will be a show. So we love you guys, of course. We appreciate every single one of you guys, and we'll be back tomorrow, 12:15-ish. We're really like 12:30. All right, 12:30 tomorrow. We should be live. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace out, guys.
Today's episode was brought to you by BitcoinWell.com, a Bitcoin-only platform on a mission to enable financial independence.